Hey guys, welcome to the Next Rank YouTube channel once again. It's Johnny and Jack, and today we've got a tips video for you guys. We're going to be going over 5 of the most common mistakes in the champ ranks, but these are going to be applicable to all ranks, so all of you pay attention, you can improve a lot of your mechanics and a lot of your strategy aspects of the game. But that was one of the mistakes. You just saw it. Did you catch it? It was the first thing we're going to talk about, and this is not fast aerialing. Now, at this point, you probably all know, or a lot of you will know, the difference between a fast aerial and a slow aerial. There's tons of tutorials on that. But something that people don't realize is that you can't just learn how to get the launch muscle memory down and then go into game and every aerial is going to be fast from now on. There are other things you need to do right as well.
Yep.
Clearly here we've got somebody dusting the other player. So Jack, why does this player dust the opponent? Gumji, who didn't aerial the fastest way that he could have.
Yeah, so there's a couple of things to note that you guys can definitely apply into your own games. Now, this guy, absolutely perfect on this aerial here. Fast aerial takeoff where he's boosting, he's jumping once, he's leaning back before he uses a second jump. Like we said, he's boosting throughout. And a couple kind of more important things that a lot of people tend to forget about once they kind of progress through Rocket League, because the game gets quicker, you have to become more fluid, more adaptable. They forget that you really need to be aligned with the ball perfectly, where you're going to end up contacting the ball at the end of your aerial before you take off. Okay, you want to be aligned with that spot. That's what this blue player does here. You'll notice he has to do a slight kind of turn towards the end, but it's much better to turn towards the end of your aerial when you're about to make contact with the ball rather than at the start, which is what this player unfortunately does, because he is off-centered when he takes off. Now, these, we're combining all this into one correct fast aerial tip, because this player also doesn't really fast aerial. He's not boosting on his first jump. He only starts boosting after he jumps. He's not boosting beforehand, and that makes him a lot slower to this ball. But like I said, he's also very, very angled before he takes off. He's not pointing his car towards the ball perfectly. He has to air steer towards the right once he jumps. And Johnny, you kind of know a little bit more about the mechanics of the speed of stuff like this. When you're steering in the air and you're boosting away from where you're trying to go, is that what you said to me earlier?
It's just not an efficient way to move, and you can try this yourself. You hop in a free play. You guys can try it and see just how slowly you move. If you jump with momentum in one direction and then you full air steer your car and start boosting to the side, it's like watching an oil tanker turning around. It doesn't move very fast at all. Whereas if you're boosting in the direction you're facing, you will get a lot of
that makes sense.
Acceleration out of that. So that's what you want to be doing. You want to boost in the direction your momentum is already carrying you. Whereas this player's jumped in the wrong direction, immediately had to turn, and now they're just boosting in a different way, which is really slow. Like Jack mentioned earlier, if you can get all that speed up to the ball like Flashboot did here, and then air steer at the end for your touch, it's a much faster way to do it. And yeah, right there, that air steer at the end is just for precision. He's already going, full speed by that point anyway, so I don't think it would have even really slowed him down too much. But yeah, really big one. Fast aerials, something that a lot of players neglect. If you don't know the quick launch technique, we're not going to go over that in this video. There's tons of tutorials on that on YouTube. They're all very good, I'm sure. It's a super well-known topic. But the angles, the direction that you're boosting, these are things that are not often talked about, so we wanted to highlight the importance to you guys.
Okay guys, the second bad habit that we have for you guys is rushing your touches and not taking time with the ball when it's in a safe position. Now, we are watching my girlfriend, actually. We're watching her play some twos here. She is GC, so this happens at higher level than Champ as well, by the way. It's never going to stop happening, but we wanted to put it in Champ, especially because, Johnny, I actually get a ton of comments saying the number one thing people learn from when watching my videos is because I say take time here, they implement that into their own games in the corners, especially because I always tell my viewers to do that. That's the number one thing that helps them improve, especially, and it's very, very common at Champ. So, yeah, happens at GC still. You guys watching, even if you're higher level than Champ, definitely can take note. Now, touches like this, when the ball is in the corner and it's not going directly towards the net, it's always going to be safe. I promise you, it's always going to be safe. We do not have to double jump. We do not have to feel like we have to rush things, feel like we need to get touches randomly. And stuff like this is always going to lead into a bad position. always take time when the opponent is coming at an angle along the wall, Johnny, and we're covering the near post already. There is very, very few times where we have to jump for a ball unless they're carrying the ball on top of their car and they're getting closer and closer towards our net. Once they get closer and closer towards our net and we're kind of standing still, shadowing, then we can jump and challenge them. But if they get any touch into this area, you don't have to jump. You legit do not have to jump. Of course, use your own intuition. If they're about to shoot the ball or something, then sure. But any touch like this, yeah, it's never going to help your team. It's only going to help the opponents.
Yeah, like Jack said, guys, this is something that will happen at a lot of ranks, especially around champ, because the game starts to move a bit more quickly, so people feel like they have to make every play as quickly as possible. But you do have a lot more time than you think. So you see from the striker POV here, they're not rushing; they're just waiting to see what happens in front of them. So we could have taken more time with this touch and taken control of the ball, made sure to get it keep it in the back corner, like Jack is saying. But full transparency, we actually had to look through quite a few of Jordy's replays to find an example of this happening, because we wanted to shout her out and also shout out her creator code. If you want to use her code when you purchase the course, it's in the description. It's also just Jordy's at checkout, which is a very difficult name to spell.
It is,
JORHDYS. JORHDY. Just click the link in the description if you want to buy the course with their creator code. Support her and us at the same time. But yeah, we couldn't find this.
She needs to watch more videos, Johnny. I think that's my opinion.
Well, we couldn't find an example of this misplay for a while. So good job, Jordies. This isn't as bad of a habit as we expected. Be sure to use your code in the description.
Oh, I don't know, Johnny. I think it's a bad habit. I'm showing this one as well, Johnny. I'm not letting her get off the hook here. Look, as well, if we're on offense, right?
How did you? It's insane that you just have this ready. Like,
no, because like,
is this something that you guys do at dinner? You're just like, anyway. So
I just know I'd find it because right. It's not only in our corners, right? If the opponent is backwards in offense, we just do not have to, especially right. Okay. The tip is to not rush your touches and take time when the ball is safe, but you also have to play the clock and understand that other factors make other players feel more rushed. So this is like tip 2.5. You're on 0 seconds. Okay. The guy is going backwards, and we are like right underneath the ball. If a player is going backwards supersonic when the time is low and the score is even, you can always fake that player, I promise you. You can always fake them. So always slow the play down. Always slow the play down, because they will panic. They will panic. They will jump. They're backwards. They're going at a high speed. Don't shoot the ball to the backboard, because then it's 0 seconds and we've lost the possession. We go into overtime. We lose the game, Johnny. So if you're in offense.
Do you want to take time here as well? Just like bring it third, wait for the bounce.
Let the ball bounce. I think a lot of players don't realize that in Rocket League, letting the ball bounce in certain positions can actually make a play more threatening. So I'm actually sorry, this is a massive tangent, guys, but this is genuinely like, you guys right. If the play is coming out of the opponent's corner, so let's say I'm on defense here. I'm the defender. I hit the ball into this position and it's kind of bouncing hard. If I'm the attacker, letting the ball bounce a couple times to get a better angle towards net to shoot and get a good shot, that's way more effective than rushing our touch into the corner and going again. And it happens at high level, Johnny. The best player in the world that does this the most is Drali, in my opinion. He lets the ball kind of bounce. I can't set it up to show you guys, but he lets the ball bounce a lot in positions like this where you can kind of make it more threatening the more the ball bounces. Sorry, that's a tangent, but take note of it, because you guys will see improvements in your game if you focus and you think more about stuff like that. But yeah, sorry Joe, if you're watching this, take more time.
All right, guys, let's get into the third bad habit. At Champ, we want you to stop not playing the ball in challenges. Sorry, that was a bit of double negative there. We want you to start playing the ball in challenges. We actually go for the ball in challenges. Here we've got an example of a player not doing that. They've gone straight past the ball. And the problem with this is that while you might get a save on a really, really good flick, if that is what happens, if that doesn't happen, if the other player just does literally nothing,
I can't believe
then
this play, by the
they've
way.
gotten past you. and they have a chance to outplay your teammates. So this player might have been trying to go for a flick, but they messed it up, and now they've just gone in a straight line, recovered, and outplayed your teammate as well. Had you just gone for the ball here, had this player gone for the ball, they would have had a super easy challenge because the other player didn't even do anything. So this happens a lot at Champ, happens a lot every rank. Players don't go for the ball, or at least part of the ball when they challenge, and they get outplayed by air. They just get they get beaten by nothing like this.
Yeah, it's when you have a player behind you. I know a lot. I'm predicting the comments or like the thoughts that we're gonna get with this one. Well, my teammate, I don't trust my teammate. He's gonna own goal if I fake this ball. If I play the ball that goes over me, he's not gonna save it. Unfortunately, they are the same rank, so they are as good. So if you don't make that mistake when you're this teammate behind, then chances are they won't either. So trust your teammate, play the ball. Anything that gets around you, your teammate should have covered. And if they don't, well, it's not your fault, so you don't have to take blame for it. That's why I like to think about it anyway. But yeah, if you're gonna play this position, well, you're only blocking the craziest plays in the world. Well, that's just not going to happen most of the time. And even if it does, well, you've got a teammate behind you to kind of defend that. So just play the ball. I mean, the tips I have for this one, Johnny, is that a lot of players will go, well, I was trying to play the ball here, and I just made a mistake. Okay, well, first off, we've got to look at the mistakes. The mistake number one, simple. We're looking at this point of view, whereas we are angled over here. Okay, so just the ball is just nowhere in this line of path. That's the only thing we need to worry about. So when we jump, we are completely off-centered from the ball. All right. So it's similar to the first tip where we always want to be angled towards the ball in our takeoff. It's very, very similar on challenges. Tip number two with this one is try to avoid double jumping on challenges when the opponent has the ball on top of their car when you have a teammate behind you. Okay. Because that will allow the opponent to go low, to fake us, and stay on the ball. We don't want the opponent to stay on the ball. We want them to give the ball away. We want them to make their play early so our teammate behind us has the easy time defending it. So the best thing we want to do is single jump and challenge with a flip, because if they get over us, well, we've made the opponent make their play early. Our teammate will have an easier time defending it. That's how defense should work, especially with challenges when the opponent has the ball on top of their car.
All right, there's another example from this game before we move on to the next tip. We thought this was just a really funny goal, but it is in the same theme. Right there, we've not played the ball in our challenge. Then we've then accidentally dunked on our teammate and own goal to the 50-50 after, I think, bouncing off the wall, so a little sidewall pogo there. But this could have all been avoided if we just simply flipped into the ball at the near post here. We're overthinking. We're thinking, oh my goodness, what if the opponent hits the ball really hard mid right now? I can't let that happen. But also, now that just allows us to get outplayed by, again, nothing. Nothing has happened and it's outplayed us. So you should never get outplayed by nothing. At least not often.
As the first man.
It's okay to get faked a little bit.
Yeah,
don't get... Yeah, actually, just never get faked as first man.
Yes,
but in general, in Rocket League, you don't want to be a player that gets faked often, that gets low 50'd often. You want to be the player that everybody hates to play against because you just go for the ball. That's what people hate going up against. That's what you should do.
Yeah, you especially don't want to get faked as the first man, like I was saying. So you always want to play the ball. As the first man, there's literally no reason to play anything else, because your teammate behind you should have most of that covered if they understand the game at a decent level. Playing in playing the kind of beat here and just getting faked out of nothing is it's just too dangerous. It's as simple as that. You always want to flip into the ball. I think that this one before, and Johnny, I think a lot of people go, well, he's also not playing the ball on this one. I understand that one more.
That one's fair enough. Yeah.
Because we're blind and because we're trying to cover the shot. And if the shot does happen, we are technically playing, the ball in that. We're pretty, central behind it here. So
this is good.
This is fine. Once we recover, just don't jump too soon and let that happen, because we also dunk our teammate, and then we actually play the ball at the wrong time, Johnny. The only time we play the ball throughout this entire play is actually the time where we want to try and get more behind it and potentially get faked, just to have a better chance of blocking the actual shot. Because if we just play the ball in that situation, we're always just going to own goal, aren't we? So a mess all round. But that's our tip. Yeah, play the ball do not get faked, especially as first man. If you're last man and you're trying to defend a dribble and you absolutely believe that the opponent is going to fake with all of your heart, and you have like, you know, previous plays where they've done that play before and you can read it, yeah, go for it because you're last man. But even when you're last, Johnny, I think a better tip is just always
just play the ball anyway.
Yeah, play the ball because it forces your opponent to rely on their skill.
Part of the ball.
Yeah,
hit a bit of it. Don't miss the whole ball. Like get a little bit of it. Hedge the bets. Go half between a read and just a ball chase.
Exactly. Yeah, you do half and half. Yeah, because you at least want to make them outplay you. You know, you want to make them have to do something.
All right, guys, we're going on to tip number 4 here, and the bad habit we want to talk about here is being slow on a rotation back, and here's an example of what that looks like. We're not boosting back, we're even flipping to accelerate, which is economical, it's very efficient, but that's not what we need when our teammate is solo defended. So this happens a lot in champ ranks, happens a lot in every rank, but yeah, especially in champ, where players want to save their boost for the fun aspects of the game. Our teammate's 1v2 defending right now, and we're thinking, yeah, but if he makes a couple of good touches in a row, then I can use my boost when I get to defense to aerial or something, maybe a wall shot, you know, something cool. But really, the first thing we should be doing here is boosting into a flip. Yes. We got to get back as soon as possible. Look how out of the game we are. We should feel bad about this. We should be. There should be guilt. We've left our teammate to solo defend, and they've done a good job. But we should not be walking back and being. How are we being lazy in a video game? Like just driving back. This is like when you play sports, and yeah, you got that guy who's always last back, like, you know, walking back to defense. You're running around trying to do everything. Yeah, we can't be doing that in a video game where you just have to press a couple buttons and you're there. It's easy.
I think so. The thing is with this one is that there are better examples to show this where it can lead into a bad kind of position. A lot of people watching will be, well, actually this ended into a good position. We can maybe, we try and demo this player here, and then we've got a player rotating back with 0 boost. We have a free ball. That's going to be really good. Yes, you're right. However, if this pinch didn't happen, and if this smurfing your peak guy here just kind of like absolutely
centered it.
Yeah, if he just like absolutely bum rushed the ball here and just try to block any type of touch that the opponent gets, which is kind of what I think, or just goes towards the wall and preemptively moves there.
Yeah, from the
basically,
wall. Yeah.
If this guy did anything but like play the ground and also far away, if he played the ground and close, could have been good, and if he played the wall and far away, would have been good. But he played the ground and far away, which basically covered absolutely nothing, and that made it into a very, very good position for the orange team here. But if he didn't do that and he tried to center the ball quickly off of a 50, that's bad. Yeah. What Johnny is saying is that you want to boost and flip here because then you have the option to get back quick. It doesn't mean you have to if the play goes well, because if you boost and flip here, you end up at the midfield line about now. Okay. All right, this pinch happens here. Okay, now we can slow down because the ball's going behind this guy. This guy's being in a bad position to get bumped. Okay, so we can bump him, we can slow down, bump him, and then we're in a good position. Okay, so it's just having the option to get quickly back behind our teammate if we need to. But if we don't, well, then we can make a different decision. There we go. So yeah, Johnny, you just want them to have the option to get back if they need to, and then decide what to do after that, right?
Yeah, they just want to get back and have an impact, whether it's a demo, interception on the mid pass that could have happened here, whether it's a challenge on a follow-up play that could have happened here. Just any kind of help, and it happens so much. Also on kickoffs, I think we've got an example
we do have an example of that. So.
All right, so here is our kickoff example. It's not an egregious misplay by any stretch of the imagination, but we're just taking a little bit longer to go back than absolutely necessary, and we've conceded. And this is on a 1-goal lead, 45 seconds to go. We could have been here if we just went either straight back down the middle, or if you want to know whether the boost is safe to go for, but you're not sure yet, you just initially go back towards your goal. And this is, we're talking more about pathing here than the speed. The previous clip was about speed. This is about pathing. Initially, you want to path back in a safer position, small pads, staying in the middle of the pitch towards the goal. If your teammate makes a good touch, then we can turn to the mid boost, grab it, and the attack is on. If the teammate plays it to the back corner safely, you've got time to go back corner boost and grab that. But if this happens, you're there to save the shot. We didn't give ourselves those options because we've just hoped that it all goes well and gone for the mid boost before we're sure that it actually does pan out as we expect.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at very, very high level, you can kind of count on this guy getting a skim touch to the left here to this
Reliably,
position.
yeah.
You can pretty much count on that, but you still don't. You still don't just go there and hope that he gets that touch, because even at my rank, even at like absolute top level, this guy can miss because that's still a hard touch to get.
Possible, yeah.
And then you're going to concede anyway. So yeah, like Johnny said, you want to path more safely, because it doesn't mean that you're not going to have the opportunity to go to this position after your teammate gets that good touch. Because you are, these small pads, you've got to think of them as they give you options, right? They just give you options. Get this small pad. This is the most important pad in this position here, because that gives you the option to use that 12 boost to get back quickly to defense, or use that 12 boost to respond to your teammate's touch and push up or go for this mid boost into the position where the ball goes. So yeah, that's what we need to do here. This is definitely taking a little too long, being a little too, what's the word, Giant? Being a little too
lackadaisical.
Yeah, I guess we're wanting to score. We're wanting to make offense happen. We're being too aggressive, I guess. With a goal up, 40 seconds left, we should be focused on defense first. And it doesn't mean that you become passive. It doesn't mean that you stop going for balls and you're just defending your goal. But you at least want to get there to cover it in case something goes bad in the first place when you're a goal up with 40 seconds left off of a kickoff that could go either way.
All right, last one for today's video, guys. The last thing we want to talk about is not leaving the ball for your teammate when they've got a free touch. And this is sort of a reflex thing that a lot of players do, where the ball's coming towards them and they just panic and hit it because they can. But for other players, it's more of a, intentional touch, and thinking like, oh, I think I know where my teammate is, so I'm going to pop the ball to where I think they are. Oh, they're already they're on top of me. Yeah. So this touch here from this player who's turning the corner there aggressively, that's fine. Now, this is just an absolutely free ball for the teammate. We don't need to do anything else. Our job is done. We've dispossessed the opponents. We can just leave the play. But we're trying to do too much. And we're trying to make a blind pop back pass down the line to our teammate who probably already has a free ball. It's either that or we're just hitting the ball because we can, which is what some players do. They're like, oh, I can pop this, so I will. Oh, yeah. Cool. I've popped over my teammate.
I don't think there was much thought. I don't think it was like...
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and say he's trying to back pass. They're not in a team, are they? They're not partied up.
No, they're not. It would just be like... It just wouldn't like... I mean,
it's
maybe,
bad either way, though.
Yeah,
even if you're trying to pop blind pop back pass, it doesn't need to happen. Because we should know... If you know your teammate's there, you should also know they just have an absolutely free ball to begin with. So this is the whole theme of this. Happens a lot in Champ. Players cutting off their teammates when their teammates got an absolutely free ball, and this is just one example of it, but it'll happen. Yeah, it happens all over the pitch.
Yeah, it does, and we've got a good example to show you guys after this, but I do want to speak about this one a little bit, because there are just key circumstances where it's going to happen, and you need to avoid it more often than not. So Johnny, this is I think this is borderline. I know that me and Johnny spoke about this one beforehand, and we said
this one turning. Yeah.
This one is fine, because you could argue that this blue player has the ball and it becomes a threat the more we let him get out. Kind of, maybe. And as long as we keep the ball kind of close here and make it awkward, it's not too bad of a cut. I think it's fine. It's not perfect, but it's fine. This one, we have no business being here. So. For those of you that think you might be doing this too much, the one thing you need to focus on is constantly following where your momentum takes you, okay? So your momentum's taking you this way, so just carry on driving in this direction. Just go for a drive challenge onto the blue player on the ball here. Make him panic with this ball, because if this guy was very, very good at the game, he would actually realize that this orange player in the corner is going to turn, and he can take time. He can basically take time. He doesn't have to hit this and flip this ball away. Whereas if this orange player just drove across in the path of his momentum, he would be able to force that touch anyway. And then this orange player will understand, well, now he has to go to the right and get a free ball. That's how offense flows, and that's how you carry on being in a good position for your teammates and leaving good balls for your teammates and making plays more threatening. Because now that this ball goes here and we turn, well, that kills our teammate's momentum, because he has to all of a sudden stop or challenge with us. It gets really awkward is the point. And that's where offense breaks down. Now the ball is in our corner. Yes, we still have possession because we're in that good of a position that we're still going to have a good chance here, but it's not perfect. So yeah, definitely leaving balls. And Johnny, we do have a good example to show for those of you guys who are wondering what it looks like.
Alright, this is now an example of somebody, in fact, doing a good job leaving the ball for their teammate when the teammate just had a free touch. So we're on POV here with 100 boost, teammates low. We saw them flip to the back corner. And right there, that little, decision to not go for the ball has just got our team out of defense. And it's a really good idea to do this. This is a good example because this will happen a lot. The ball will often, in 2s and 3s, be rolling or even like flying through the air.
So much.
Just, your side onto it and you've got a teammate behind you, it's just free for them 99% of the time. So if you've got a second man in 2s, if you've got a second man or a third man in 3s, and you're sideways to the play, don't feel like you have to hit the ball sideways. There are sometimes cases where you want to. You can maybe hit it into the sidewall really hard to set up that player behind you. They can come in on that pass. But here, there's not really a play we can make here.
No.
We've realized that we're low momentum. We can hit this ball into the wall, but so what? There's actually an opponent up there who's probably going to get the ball if we do that. So actually, we can just leave this. Right? We're just going to try and get out of the way, let our teammate get the free touch, and it doesn't go crazy well for us. But this is a good awareness. It's the kind of thing we want to be promoting, as opposed to just making a touch because you can, like we did in the previous clip.
And Johnny, it's always in the corners, isn't it? So I mean, that's the two examples that we've seen, and I'll tell you, now it happens more so in the corners than anywhere else on the pitch. And it actually but it connects to our second tip of this video, all the way back in the second tip of taking more time. And that is mostly in the corners as well. So if you kind of just focus on that tip alone, you're naturally going to start leaving balls for your teammates. You're naturally going to start understanding what is truly a threat for your team and what isn't. And you're going to be more comfortable letting the ball come to you, even when there's players nearby. Because that's what you have to get used to. You need to be comfortable, even when there's a blue player, this guy potentially around this ball in this position. This guy's very comfortable with that because he knows that any touch that this guy gets, if he does go for it, it's not really going to be a threat. It's just not, just with the position here, it's just not going to be a threat. So we don't need to worry about it. We don't need to touch it. We don't need to get involved. We don't even need to get close to the ball. We want to make it fairly obvious, actually, to our teammate that we're leaving this, which we do because we don't boost. Then we get a clear out and we can start to finally break out of defense. It's very good. Okay, we do actually have one more example to show. This is
is this also champ level, right?
Yeah, this is about champ 2 now.
Yeah. Nice.
We leave the ball for our teammate here, and it's a very, very awkward play. We break out of defense with a touch. Juicy gets a touch to the wall. Seiko, I'm playing for the bounce off the wall and for Seiko not to get a touch. But once he gets a touch and once the ball rolls down the wall, we can go for this. We can swerve to the left here and go, but we realize that Seiko actually also has 100 boost. This is a very, very good time because we have space. This is a very good time to push up in front and go for a demo. So we don't try and get into our teammates' way there. The play doesn't, exactly happen as we were intending. Like, I'm pushing up here for the ball to bounce off the wall here. It doesn't happen like that. We don't try and carry on with the play that we were going for. We actually do what I said to do earlier in the corner, where we just carry on with our car's momentum. We carry on boosting, we carry on moving forward where we were initially going, and we make it work. All right. So it's just something small there to kind of, put it in your guys' mind that you don't have to keep on going with your initial thought process of what you want to do if something changes, because Rocket League, it changes every half second this game. You have to be adaptable, you have to be aware of that, and you have to be comfortable with leaving balls that you were wanting to go for beforehand, but now it's better for your teammate to go for.
And guys, you can see how easy this is from Seiko's POV, Jack's teammate in the play. The play happens very quickly for him as well, because Juicy's got a touch. Oh, I've touched it, all good. Look how easy that was. So just come down off the wall and through the demo smoke, get the goal. So yeah, like Jack said, it's all about the momentum, which way, continuing your momentum where you're going instead of trying to just make a play work because you thought it was a good idea before new things have happened in the position. Also understanding the momentum of the teammate, because look how fluid this was for Seiko. If Jack did decide to keep playing the ball there, then this attack would have come in way later. They would have had to go up the wall. K-Corp would have had a better chance to get everybody back in defense. So the moment would probably have been gone. It would have been much harder to score.
All right, guys, there you have it. 5 tips for champ, 5 mistakes that are very, very common in this rank that you guys need to avoid, need to work on. And if you do, it will help you rank up. Guys, if you have enjoyed this content, let us know in the comments if you agree with everything. If you disagree with something, also let us know. We're always happy to see what people disagree with. Check out the course at thenextrank.com. We have so many more videos than this, Johnny. We have a lot of content. If you guys are enjoying these tips, the course, it just gives everything in a way better, way deeper breakdown. And yeah, definitely go and check that out, guys. Drop a like, drop a sub to the channel, check out all of our videos, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.